All right. Hello and welcome. Jason Brown here, stock market coach and trader here. And we are going to be diving into the Power Trading with Options webinar. So thanks for joining me wherever you are. This is going to be an exciting webinar where I break down really how to use the power of options. So here's our agenda for today. We're going to cover the top 4 problems that stock traders face. We're also going to walk you through 2 of 12 of my ninja option strategies that every trader and investor should know. So there's 12 total. There's actually a little bit more than that, but we're just going to cover 2 in this webinar. Also, we're going to do a side-by-side risk comparison of buying the stock versus buying the option. It's going to be really eye-opening, especially if you've never traded options before or you've only been the type of person that is like buy stock, buy stock, buy stock. You'll find this side-by-side comparison really powerful. And also I'm going to walk you through my power downside dollar strategy. That's right. If you don't know how to potentially make money from a stock falling, you're going to love this. So stay tuned, stay dialed in, stay attentive, because this is some good stuff that we're going to cover. But let's talk about who this webinar is not for. So this is not for you if you are already a sophisticated investor. If you already feel like you know how to make money in any market conditions, that means the market's up, down, sideways, upside down, you know how to make money already. If that's the case, then this webinar is not for you. If you completely understand how options work, this webinar is not for you. And then if you are not open to additional coaching and training, this webinar is not for you, because at the end, I'm going to share with you how you can get more training and more coaching if that's something that you would like. And then this webinar is for you. Let's talk about who it is for. If you want to learn how to leverage a small trading account, $5,000 or less, because I'm going to share with you my story and how I was able to do that. So if you want to leverage a small trading account, this is for you. If you have a trading account of over 100,000, which is also, I started with less than 5,000, but I grew 6-figure trading accounts. And so if you have a trading account over 100,000 and you want to learn my protection strategies and my leverage strategies, then this webinar is for you. And if you want to learn how to invest in some of the pricier stocks, the Googles, the Amazons, some of those that usually price out smaller investors, that's what we're going to be talking about in this webinar, how to do it with options. And also, if you want to learn the strategies to profit in any market condition, again, from, no matter what the market is doing, even from falling stocks, then this webinar is for you. So I just want to make sure that I got the right people on here. And if it's not for you, feel free to, check out. So let's just do a real quick housekeeping. Shut off any distractions, turn off the cell phone or put it on do not disturb. Let's close out the social media. Here's the thing. I promise to give you my energy, my attention, and bring my full knowledge to this webinar. So do me a favor. If I ask a question, please engage with me. Type yes or no in the box when I ask a question. You'll see a little box to the right of your computer screen. It'll say type here for your email or something like that. The questions will come to us in email. The responses will come to us in email. And then we can also respond back to you as well in the event that you have a question that we don't cover throughout the webinar. So if you could hold your questions to the end, or if you type in a question, we may answer it throughout the webinar. And if we don't, we'll be sure to get back with you after the webinar. And then you might want a pen and paper to take some notes, because we're going to cover some cool stuff. All right, so let's get into it. First, let's discuss how most stock traders make money. Now, when you think about people who trade stocks, the reality is they're in a buy low and sell high type of mindset, right? So, the lifespan of a stock trader, you want to buy something at 10, you want to sell it at 20. You want to buy something at 30 and you want to sell it at 40, 50, 60, 70. Your whole game plan is to buy low and sell high if you only know how to trade stocks. And so normally with that mindset, what happens is most stock traders look at every trade like it's doing what? It's going to go to the moon, right? This is the trade that's going to put my grandkids through college. This is the trade that's going to get me that house, get me that dream car, the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, right? That's what stock traders think. They normally think one trade's going to do it, and they think every trade is going to the moon. But let me ask you a question. Here's a participation. Here's an area where I need you to help me out. Do stocks always go up? Type it in the box. Yes or no. Do stocks always go up? This is not a trick question. All right. If you only know how to trade stocks, you probably think, well, yeah, they always go up. The reality is, if you've been trading for some while, you probably lost some money because you realize stocks do not always go up. In fact, my first profitable trade, when I had first started, I took $500 and I had made $50 because I was just trying not to work weekends. I had a little weekend job working for Sprint PCS. This was like over 10 years ago. And then when I had made my first $50 to $100, I was like, well, what if I had $10,000, right? So maybe you know my story, maybe you don't, but I took a $10,000 student loan and I grew it into a six-figure trade account. I've done that multiple times. And the thing is, I was like, I literally can print money from the computer. Like, that's how I felt. I felt like the king. Like, you couldn't tell me anything. I was like, I can print money from the computer because I'm like, I could buy stocks, I could buy options, and then I could just, it goes up and it gives me money. I just transfer it to my bank account. I'm like, this is sweet. I was excited. Can you relate to that? And so I was knocking it out of the park. Here's what I was thinking. I was like, this is too easy. I was like, I can't lose. Why isn't everybody doing this? Like, I was on top of the world. That's because everything I was buying was going up. And then you probably can relate to this too, right? I realized the market doesn't always go up. So I would be in some trades and then like we were in a bullish market, but then when the market turned bearish or started, selling off, I used to be like, I went from being like up 20,000 in one trade to being like, Lord, please just let me break even. Right. So like I was down like 5, 10, 20, 30, 40,000. Actually I lost, I think about $75,000 in one trade. Right. Cause I was like heavy trading. And I was just like, Lord, please just let me break even. Can you relate to that where you've been in a trade, you've made money and then like you didn't take the profit and next thing you know, you're losing money? Like, how does this happen? And so I'm like, how did I go from being up $20,000 to being down 5,000, being down 10,000? I know some of you can relate if you've been trading for any type of time. And if you can't relate, hey, here's what, hopefully in this webinar, we can help you avoid some of the mistakes that we made. But here's what I came to the conclusion of. I said, I need to find out, how do I make it rain money consistently? Okay. I didn't just want to make money 1 week or 1 month or 6 months and then give it back for the second 6 months or the second half of the year. I'm like, how do I make it rain money consistently? And that was the key. The key word here is consistently. And so can you relate to this? This was me. So let me know if you can relate to this. If you can relate to number 1, type 1. If you can relate to number 2, type 2. If you can relate to number 3, type 3, or just type all of them. All right. But I was looking for a way to consistently make money in the stock market. Is that you? If that's you, type number 1. I also had a small trading account. So when I first started getting $5,000 or less, so I'm like, well, how do I grow it exponentially? How do I get to the $100,000 trading account? And that's what I want to share with you on this webinar. How do you take a small account? Because people always think I need a ton of money to get into the stock market. But I was like, man, how are other people doing it? Like, if I never have money, then how do I get money? So I'm like, how can I start with a little bit and grow it and become part of the, top 10% in the country that's, 6-figure trading accounts, living off their investments, different things like that. And then if you already have $100,000 account, which I'm blessed to be at that level as well, over $100,000 in the account. I've grown it, lost it, grown it back. And what I was really thinking is like, how do I protect myself from not losing this money? All right, now I have it. How do I not lose it? Because I lost it before and it was no fun. And then I was thinking, I know what to do when the market is up, which was part of my problem. I knew what to do when the stock was up, but when the market was down, I had no clue. And that's when I lost the bulk of my money. And so I said, there's gotta be a better way. And that's what I want to share with you. So that actually led me into, I started blogging and kind of chronicling my trades and start sharing the stuff I was learning about the stock market. So like any good trader, right? What do? You start a YouTube channel. I'm just joking, but I did start a YouTube channel, and you can see we got some of our videos have 1.2 million views, 1 million views, 300,000, 200,000. We I was sharing a lot of good information about how the stock market works and how people could make it work for them. So I was excited about that. We got thousands of subscribers, and we help with some of our free videos. They go through sort of like a free webinar like you're on right now. And then it led me to create my own website. People started saying, well, hey, can you cover this? Can you talk about how to open a trading account? Can you lay it out step by step? And so I ended up starting my own website, thebrownreport.com, where I started, putting it in a more chronological order. Here's the steps. Here's how the market works. If you're on step one, start here. And then, people were saying, well, hey, can you coach? Can you train? Can you teach us? And then people was like, well, how do we look at the trades that you're in? And so that eventually led me to starting Power Trades University, which is my university where we teach people how to trade. And also you get to see some of the trades that I'm in. So here's the thing. I'm going to walk you through the second P in what I call my 3P trading system. All right. So the first P is power charts. So we talked about that in my stock market secrets webinar. So if you haven't seen that one, this one's the second webinar in the series. So we're going to talk about number 2, power trades. So how do you power up your trades? And I'm going to walk you through how options work and how you can make those options work for you to power up your trades, especially a small account, and protect a larger account. And then ultimately you want to get to power profits, which is the stage that I'm in with my trading and a lot of my students are in. All right, so let's talk about the 3 ways that stocks can move. Stocks can move up, stocks can move down, and stocks can move sideways. So we're just going to focus on the first one right now, which is stocks can move up. And we already talked about that one a little bit. When you only know how to buy stocks, you think every trade is going to the moon. But here's the first problem of stock traders. Stock traders can only make money 1 out of 3 ways that a stock can move. So we just established that stocks can go sideways and stocks can go down. So your problem is, yes, you can make money when it's going up, but what happens if it's going sideways? What happens if it's going down? So you can only make money 1 out of 3 ways. That's a 33% chance of success, okay? And that's actually kind of scary. When you think about it, if you took a test in school, here's a participation point. If you got a 33% on the test, would that be a pass or a fail? Now, I already gave you the answer, but type it in the box. Just let me know that you're with me, because it's kind of tough just talking at a computer screen, right? So type the word in. Would you pass or fail if you got a 33% on the test in school, right? Now, obviously, guys, that would be a fail. But why do people come to the stock market with only a 33% chance of success? And then they're like shocked when they don't make money. They're shocked when they fail. In fact, not only are they shocked, they want to say the stock market's rigged. It doesn't work. It's a scam. Well, no, it's not a scam. You just came to the table with 33% of the information. So what did you think was going to happen? Right. And so what that really means is, to put it another way, is stock traders have a 67% chance of failure. 67% chance, because again, the market can go up. That's the only way they know how to make money, but it could also go sideways and it can also go down. So most people are just flushing money down the toilet when they come to this industry and try to make money, and they don't have the right strategies and they don't have the right tools, which is what I'm going to share with you throughout this webinar. But don't be part of the 67% of the failure rate. Get on the other side of these things. All right. Now let's talk about the second way that stocks can move. Stocks can move sideways. That's right, from left to right. So what do I mean by that? I'm talking about your grandpa's buy and hold strategy, and I'm going to share with you why it doesn't really work. And so here's the thing. Grandpa told you what? Buy and hold. So maybe grandpa worked at Ford Motor Company. Let me turn on my drawing tool here. And you can see right here, this is just an example. Ford in 1998 was $14.23. So that's like right there. Okay. And then Ford 17 years later, okay, 2015, same price. Am I making sense? Right here, 14.23. Come all the way over here. Still about 14.23. Here's a trick question. Do you know anybody that got wealthy by buying something and holding it for 17 years that does not move? Now you may be thinking, well, Warren Buffett got rich by buying and holding. That's not the same thing. He was buying and holding stocks that were increasing in value. That's a whole nother story when you start looking at value investing. But we're talking about trading. And there's no way to make money by buying something and holding it for 17 years that does not move. Now you say, well, it's starting to move now. Yeah, but you lost 17 years of your money just sitting there doing nothing. That's how most people's 401ks are. That's how most people's investment accounts are. They just, oh, I don't even look at it. I don't even pay attention. Well, you should, because it could be sitting in something that isn't even moving for the next 17 years. How do you plan to retire and you got stocks sitting in your portfolio that don't even move? So buy and hold strategy, it usually results in a loss, because you got to think about it. Is the dollar worth what it was worth 17 years ago? No, it's not. So really, due to inflation and loss of time, you could have been in some other stocks investing. You lose money just because the dollar doesn't buy what it used to buy 17 years ago, and you had it sitting in a vehicle, no pun intended for it, but you had it sitting in a stock market vehicle that wasn't even running. Does that make sense? All right. So you've just saw the second problem of stock traders is buy and hold typically doesn't work, especially if you're not actively managing your account and making sure you're in stuff that is steadily increasing in value. Think about BlackBerry. If you had a BlackBerry, how's that stock doing, right? If you would have bought BlackBerry and hold, that stock almost went out of business. I think it went down to like $6, and then Sprint bought them, or they merged with Sprint or something like that. But the bottom line is that's not really a strategy for wealth. So we talked about the first two ways that stocks can move up. We talked about sideways, and we talked about, well, we didn't, but we're about to talk about stocks can move down. Yes, that's right. Stocks can fall. So most traders panic in a down market and they watch their earnings just straight up vanish overnight or over a week or over a few months, because when the market crashes, what do? They say stuff like, well, I just got to let it sit, or it'll come back someday, or I'll just kind of, wait and see what happens. And then what end up happens is it falls more, and it falls even more until you can't take it anymore. And you don't even like to look at your own trading account when we're in a bearish market. Now we just happen to be in a nice little bullish market right now. But if you think back to, 9/11, pre-President Obama days, different things like that, when the market was crashing, people didn't know what to do. They had no clue what to do in that market. And I don't want you to be one of those peoples. And so the third problem of stock traders is they have no strategy to protect their profits. That was me. When I had made my first 100,000 in the stock market, I just kept thinking everything would go higher and higher. I didn't even think, how do I protect this 100,000? And sure enough, I ended up losing a good chunk of it. But most people don't have any protection strategies, and they have no. And then protection is one thing. How about profiting from a stock that's falling? So most people don't even know how to profit from a falling stock. So that's the third problem. And then we're going to get into the fourth problem. I'm going to walk you through the solution and how it works. And the fourth problem that most stock traders face, and this is a big one. This is a big one. Most people can't afford the best stocks without breaking the bank. So most people can never afford the Amazon, the Google, the Tesla, right? Even Apple, right? Most people can never afford some of the best stocks because it's out of their reach financially. So what do? Most people are left holding on to this notion that, oh, I'm just going to buy penny stocks. I'm curious, how many of you either bought penny stocks, you currently trade penny stocks, you heard about penny stocks? Just type the word, if you buy it, just type something in the box. Let me know you bought it, you've considered it, or you've heard about it. When I first started trading, I thought penny stocks were the key to success. I figured I had like 500 bucks. I could get, what's that, like 500,000 shares of a penny stock, till I found out most of these companies are going out of business. Penny stocks rarely move, right? So I bought it at a penny, bought it at 10 cents, and it took all year for it to move 2 cents. That didn't even cover my commission. And then I remember when I owned Kmart, it went out of business, or then they changed the ticker symbol on me. Either way, they took my money and I lost my money on it. I'm thinking, it's Kmart, it's going to come back. Kmart did not come back. Okay. They took my money and it went to zero. So most people are left buying penny stocks, which are companies that are getting ready to go out of business. But why would you do that? Here's what your penny stock investment is like. So here in Detroit, Michigan, this is a legit house and neighborhood here in Michigan, right? This is what your penny stock investment is buying. This is what you're doing. You're saying, I believe this house is going to come back. I believe this neighborhood is going to come back. People are going to start moving back in here. That might be true, but it's probably going to be 2 generations from now before this neighborhood comes back to life. And so I don't know about you, but I don't have 2 generations of my money to sit and hope that this place comes back to life. And so these are the investments that are out of your reach, right? These are the houses that are in Birmingham, Royal Oak, Troy, all right? From Michigan, those are like the wealthy cities, Shelby Township, Macomb, right? These are the houses that are available for people who know how to trade options and know how to do other things other than just buy the stock and hope it goes up. So how do sophisticated investors do it? Well, I just hinted at it already. The answer is options. So think about it like this, since we just used a house analogy, and humor me here. If you are building a house, is the only tool you need a hammer? Absolutely not, right? You need a screwdriver, you need a shovel, you need a plaster, you need paint, you need an electrician, a plumber. But most people come into this game only with a hammer. They only know how to hammer some stocks out, right? And when that's not working, they just hammer it some more and then wonder why they lose money. So options, it's like having a utility belt with like a little knife in there, screwdriver, a little wrench, all these little tools. And you'll see, again, we can cover 2 of the 12 in this webinar, but you'll start to see how just by adding that to your arsenal, you pick up a whole new tool belt that can do a whole lot and help you build your financial house. Now let's talk about the 2 types of options. All right. So number 1, there's a call option, and number 2, there are put options. So let's break each one of those down and let's talk about how they work, and let's look at some real life examples. All right. So the basics is, if you're looking at buying what's called a call option, it's a bullish strategy. You believe a stock or the market or the underlying asset is going where? Up. You believe it's going up. So it's a bullish strategy. Okay. And so here's the thing. A call option, if you're not familiar with it, it gives you the right to control a stock at a certain price for a certain period of time. So this may be a new concept to some people. So when I first found out that, wait a minute, I don't have to actually own the stock, but I can control it for a certain amount of time, that was a game changer for me, because it costs a whole lot more money to own it than it did to just control it. And I was like, I don't really want to own it. I just want to control it, let it increase in value, right? And then sell it to somebody else. That's really what you're trying to do. You're trying to make money. You're not really trying to be an owner in Disney. I mean, maybe you are. I'm not. I'm here trying to make money. All right. It also allows you to invest in higher price stocks at a fraction of cost, which I'm going to show you a real live example of buying an expensive stock or buying the option. And you'll be shocked at the price difference once you understand how option works. And then this was the big one for me. When I had a $500 account, it was less than 5,000. I was like, how do I leverage a small bank account and start to get in some of the bigger trades, get some of the bigger returns? And the answer was call options once I learned how they work. So this is for you if you have a small trading account and you think, how do I grow it and be part of some of the bigger returns, the bigger trades? The answer for me that I found was options. So let's take a look at this chart. This is a chart of Google. And at the time that I took the picture of the chart, right? Because I'm not going to take a new picture of the chart every time we do a webinar. But at the time that I took the picture of the chart, Google was at, it looks like $1,000.32. Okay. Now, I'm going to walk you through an example. So you could either buy Google for, let me turn on my drawing tool here. You could either buy Google for $1,032.48. That's what it's going for. Or what you're looking at right now is called an option chain. This is an option chain. Okay. Now you can either buy it for $1,032.48, or I can control, right? I'm going to show you something. This is really cool. I can control Google right here at the, this is a $1,000 strike price, right? So I can control it, which means I have the right to buy Google at $1,000. And for that right, the last price that someone paid was $55.80. But here's the thing. You might be thinking, well, how long can you control it for, Jason Brown? 77 days. So I can control Google for 77 days. Now, you may be thinking, big deal. Well, I'm going to show you big deal. Let's talk about it and do a side-by-side comparison. All right. So Google at $1,032.48. To even really make an impact on your account, you need about 100 shares of any stock to make any real kind of money. So let's just say you buy 100 shares of Google stock. So 100 shares at $1,032.48 per share. That's going to cost you $103,248, right? Think about it. You don't have to raise your hand or type it in, but I want you to just think about it. How many of you have $103,000 for one trade? That wasn't me. Now I'm fortunate to have that type of money now, but I was like a 22-year-old kid, 23, somewhere around there. I'm like, I don't have $103,000 to buy Google. How come? So you get discouraged. You're like, well, I guess I can never own one of the greatest companies. I can't participate in some of the better trades. Well, let's look at the option. If you bought a January 1,000 strike price call option, now again, that was the option we looked at on this chain that had like 77 days left. We're not going to update this every time we do a webinar. So just follow me. So you could be watching this. I don't know. We could be doing this, anytime throughout the year, or you might be watching the replay and you'll be like, well, all right. So just follow the example though, because we could plug any numbers in here and you'll get the same thing. So you buy one January 1,000 strike price call option for $55.20. Okay. Now a contract controls 100 shares. Okay. So again, on the left side, we could buy 100 shares from Google straight up, or we can buy a call option contract that controls 100 shares. So this is how the math works. One contract controls 100 shares times $55.22. Now let me just back up in case you're like, where are we getting these numbers from? All right. Again, we got one contract at $55 that controls it at $1,000. We can buy it at $1,000. We got 77 days that we can control it for. All right. So let's get back. So look at the difference. All right. I can either buy it for $103,248, or I can control it for $5,520. That is a big difference already. Does that make sense? All right. So let's walk through a profit scenario. Let's say Google moves up $50. It moves up $50. That would be a good week, month, whatever. Let's just say in 30 days, it moved up $50. We got 77 days on the option side. So it moves up $50. So your profit on 100 shares would be $5,000, right? Not bad. Moves up $50. You got 100 shares. Simple math. You make $5,000. Okay. You're excited, but that doesn't get me excited because I know how options work. Now look at the right side. You got one option contract times 100 shares at 55.20. So we already did that math. That's your total cost, 5,520. You got the right to purchase Google stock at $1,000. I already showed you that. You can now sell the stock at $1,082. Why? Because the current price is $1,032. We just said it moved up $50. All right. So I don't want to lose anybody. Simple math. The stock went from 1032 up $50. That would make it 1,082.48. Just simple math, right? But we have the right to buy it at what? $1,000 per the option. And so what's that going to do for us? Our gross profit on one contract, if we could sell it at 82.48, that's $8,248. But wait, we got to take out how much we paid for it. Okay. So I want to make sure you're getting this. So follow me. Our gross profit is $8,248, but we paid $5,520 for the option. So our gross profit minus cost equals our net profit. So our net profit is $2,728. Now, which one would you rather have? Which one would you rather have? Silly question, but which one would you rather have? Would you rather be on the left side and make $5,000, or would you rather be on the right side and make $2,728? Just type left or right side, because I want to see how your mind thinks before I show you the next slide. All right. So would you rather be on the left side, $5,000, or would you rather be on the right side, $2,728 on the option side? Okay. Now let's do the grand reveal about the truth about the numbers. So if you really look at the numbers, let's break down the percent return. On the left side, you made 5,000 profit, but it cost you $103,000 to get into that trade, right? So you really had a 4.8% return. On the right side, let's talk about it. 2,728 profit. It cost us 5,520 to get into that trade. But oh boy, look at that. 49.4% return. See, some of you might not be getting it, but I'm going to break it down for you. The real thing you want to look at when you're investing, trading, any type of investment is the rate of return. See, it almost sounded excited to make $5,000, but not when you got to put $103,000 up for it. I would rather put up $5,520 and get back $2,728. That's a 49% return. Okay. That's 10x the return using options. So when I talked about how can you power charge your trades? Oh my goodness, you should be getting it right now. You can 10x your trading power just by using options, and you get to get in on some of the more powerful stocks like a Google for a fraction of the cost. So when you think about the power of call options, again, it allows you to exponentially increase your profit. Hopefully you just saw that. That was just simple math. All right. It allows you to control higher price, high quality stocks like Google, Tesla, Amazon. Right. And then it offers leverage for growing a small trading account. I just showed you how you could take a fraction. You don't have to have $103,000. You can have roughly 5,000 and get into the same trade as somebody with 103,000. It's all about reading the chart and then determining the best times to buy and sell. But let me walk you through another example on Google though, because I told you I would show you how options can limit your risk. So let's just say that trade didn't work out. These are all hypothetical. Let's just say the trade didn't work out and Google dropped $100. All right. So on the left side, if you got 100 shares at $103,000, $103,248, right? When it drops $100, guess what? You just lost $10,000. Now I know someone might be saying, well, it's not a loss until you sell. We're not talking about holding this thing forever. Let's just say you were only planning to hold it for 2-3 months. You don't want to tie up. If you lost $10,000, you're going to tie up $90,000 waiting to try to make 10,000 back, or are you going to move on to the next trade? So we would rather take that 90 grand that's left and go find a stock that's not falling and move higher. So this is assuming you would close that trade out, get into a new trade. Now let's look on the right side. Cost of an option contract, 5,520. If it dropped if Google fell $100, you would only lose 5,520 bucks. Again, which is more? You can lose more on the left side buying the stock than you ever could on the right side by buying the option. So here's a fact. You can never lose more money than the cost of the actual option. You will never lose more than what you paid for the option. And you can see, depending on how much you have in your investment account, that could be a big difference, right? Just from a same 100-point swing on the left side, we lost 10,000. On the right side, we lost 5,000. That's a big difference, okay? Now, let's talk about understanding put options. So we just talked about call options. Let's talk about put options. So put options are used for a bear strategy. So if you think the market is going down or a stock is going down, this is where we would use put options. So let me break this down. Put options, just like call options, is the reverse. So it gives you the right to put the stock to someone else at a specific price for a certain amount of time. So call option gave you the right to buy the stock from somebody else at a certain price for a certain amount of time. Put options give you the right to put the stock to someone else at a specific price for a specific set of time. All right. It also allows you to profit from the downfall of a stock. And I'll show you a side-by-side comparison of trying to profit from a stock falling by shorting it versus using a put option. And then it allows you to protect your portfolio and lock in gains. This was my favorite reason for learning how put options works, because it's not just about making the money, but how do you protect it? Most people, when the stock market falls or sells off pretty big, they have no protection strategy in place. And I remember when we had the huge stock market sell off of like 2006, 2008-ish, people would say my 401k turned into a 201k, or, you know, I had some investments and now they're nothing, right? Because they didn't have any strategies or protection against the downside of the market when like real estate bubble burst and 9/11 happened and we went to war and all this different things. Most people's only strategy was what? I'm just going to wait and see what happens and hopefully it comes back up, right? But I don't like to play the hope game. I like to play the strategy game. Doesn't matter what the market does, I have a strategy for it, and put options allow you to do that. So let's look at this example of Bed Bath & Beyond. Now, I didn't do this on the Google one, but I'll do this one on this one. The stock can fall about $5. How do I know? If you look from like right here to about right here, it fell from like 38. If we were to kind of bring this straight across, 38 to about, 32, right? And then same thing from here to here, right? It fell from like $30 down here to about 26. Okay. And then same here. Okay. And you can see it does that over about a 2-month period or so, 2.5 month period or so. So it can fall $5 to $6. Okay. Now let's talk to you about a put option. So in this example, we would be able to control this stock for 77 days. Once again, that old famous 77 days. And we would have the right to put the stock to somebody at $22.50. What does that mean? That means we can force somebody to buy it from us. Now, you may be thinking, well, how do we force somebody to buy it for us? Well, on every transaction, there's a buyer and a seller. Okay. If you are buying a $22.50 put option, someone who's selling it to you has to agree. All right. So you're saying, hey, I'm willing to pay you about $3.45. I'm willing to pay you that for the right for the next 77 days to be able to put the stock to you at $22.50. You may say, well, why would that person agree to that? Well, there's always two types of people in the trade. Somebody think the stock is going up. Somebody think the stock is going down. So this person thinks, well, the stock is going to go up and I'll never have to deliver on that. Well, we just looked at the chart and we believe the stock is going down. So there's always two people on each side of the trade. So I don't have time to get into all the psychology of why somebody would enter a trade and why they wouldn't, and why would someone allow you to force them to buy it. The bottom line is there's always two people. Someone thinks it's going up, someone thinks it's going down, and both people think they can make money, and one of them will be wrong at the end of 77 days or less. All right. That's the short version of it. You want to make sure you understand the strategies to put the market conditions in your favor. All right. So let's walk through the Bed Bath and Beyond example. So stock is at $19.56. 56 cents. Now you could short the shares. So some people say, well, we could always short the shares. Well, the cost of shorting 500 shares and it's at 1956, you're going to pay about just under $10,000 for the ability to short the stock. Or I can buy 5 contracts. Again, a contract controls 100 shares. So 5 contracts would allow me to control 500 shares. So 5 contracts controlling 100 shares at $3.45. You can already see there's a big difference. I'm only paying $1,725 to short the stock. You have to pay almost $10,000 to do the same trade. And here's the thing. I told you it falls about $5 or $6 over 2 months. We got 77 days. So that's about a month, and that's 2 months and a half. So we got plenty of time for it to do what we think it's going to do. So part of this is knowing how to read the stock chart and determine how long it'll take to fall, which, that's part of it as well. So, you may be thinking, well, what made you pick that option? Well, you have to look at how long it normally takes to fall and some other things. And there's some other things that go into this, but I'm giving you high level strategy. So on one side, you're paying $10,000. On the right side, you're paying $17.25 to short it. Now, let's just say the stock falls $5 like we think it's going to do to $14.56. Well, on the left-hand side, yeah, you still make some money, $2,500. But on the right-hand side, you have the right to put the stock to someone else at $22.50, even though it fell to $14.56, because that was the agreement. I bought a $22.50 strike price put, which means I can force you to buy it for me at $22.50. So the gross profit again on that, the difference between that price is $7.94. So the gross profit, $3,970, right? And then the net profit is $2,245. Here's what I want you to get. Don't get caught up on the math. What I'm trying to show you, big picture, you can get paid for the stock falling, and you could do it at a lower price, lower risk than trying to short the stock. In fact, if you do the percentage return, let's just run through this real quick. You made a 26% return trying to short it because you had to put up $10,000 just about to make $2,500. Whereas on the right-hand side, we put up $17.25 to make $2,245. That's 130% profit. And here's the thing. We didn't even use the same amount of money over here that we did over there. What if we would have used the same amount of money? What if we tried to get close to spending $10,000 on put options? Well, we would have spent $8,000, but we would have had 5 times the amount of put. So we would have had 5 times the amount of profit, right? So still 130,000. But look, if I had to put almost $10,000 to work, which side would you rather put it to work on? The stock side, or would you rather put it to work on the put option side, right? Look at this difference. $11,225 versus potentially $2,500. Okay. Not to mention shorting stock has unlimited risk, because what happens if we're wrong about this trade and the stock actually goes up? Okay. So if the stock actually goes up, you have to cover that stock because you shorted it. If you don't know what shorting means, it means you sold something that you don't really own and you hope to buy it at a lower price later. But what happens if it doesn't go to a lower price? It actually goes higher. You have to buy that stock back and give it to the person at the price you shorted at. So it has unlimited risk. So here's what I want to share with you. Buying stock is a small piece of the strategy. It's one piece, and it's a very small piece of the strategy. The missing piece is learning how to trade and how to strategize with options. So if you've been trading for any time and you haven't been quite making money, you got a small account and it hasn't been growing, options is the missing piece to your puzzle. So I want to share with you some cool stuff to help you kind of comprehend this stuff even more in depth. But let me just do a pulse check. So far, did you learn something today? Type it in the box. Yes. All right. If you didn't learn something, I mean, maybe you weren't alive. Maybe you were playing on your phone. Maybe you weren't paying attention, because this is good stuff. So did you learn something today? Type yes in the box, unless you were already a professional options trader, which we already said this webinar isn't for you. But for the rest of us, did you learn something today? I see the yeses coming in. Awesome stuff, good stuff, perfect, right? So imagine if we had more time together, right? I mean, I broke down some cool stuff in the short time that we had together, but imagine if we had more time together. And so here's the thing, with your permission, I want to share with you how you can get some additional training. I told you earlier, I was going to share with you afterwards how we coach, how we train on this stuff. And so if you're looking to become a more confident trader, you want to, when you fire up the computer, when you tell your wife or your husband that I'm trading stocks and trust me with the money, you want to be confident that you can deliver. You want to be confident that you can bring revenue into the household. Then I want to share with you how. If you want to have strategies for up markets, down markets, sideways markets, we didn't even get into the sideways strategies, but if you want to have a strategy for any kind of market, no matter what market it is, I want to share with you how you can do that. If you want to learn how to minimize risk, this was big for me. Once my account grew over 6 figures, I'm like, I do not want to lose this money. What are the protection strategies that I can use, all while increasing my profit potential? All right. And so I want to share with you my Options Explain Trading video course, right? This was the course that I wish I had when I first started trading. I wish I knew about options. I wish I knew about the protection strategies. I wish I knew about put options and how to leverage a small trading account. I wish I knew about that stuff. So let me break down what this course is and how it works. So this is an options fundamental course. In this course, you're going to learn options definition and terminology, so you'll never feel stupid or feel left out. Like, what does this mean? How does it work? We break down the most important terms that you need to know when it comes to options. We also do a case study on what other industries use options, because this is not just a stock market thing. We actually show you where options are used in other areas of your life and actually in other businesses and business opportunities and financial decisions that you make in your life. We're going to show you how that works. We're also going to do some more comparisons of buying the stock versus buying the option. We're also going to break down the option structure, right? Because there's different components that go into creating an option. We're going to walk you through every piece of the structure of the option process. We're going to walk you through the options price formula. That's when I look at that grid. How do you pick the right option? How do you know you can get in, get out? How do you know if it's liquid enough? How do you avoid overpaying for an option? So I'm going to walk you through my cheat sheet, my free options tools and resources on how to price options out. I'm also going to teach you in this course the 3 types of call options. So even though calls and puts are 2 types, there's subtypes underneath those. Those are 3 types under each. So altogether, you're talking like 6 different option combinations that you can use. And we'll talk about which options are the best to buy and which ones are the best to sell, because there's a difference between doing the two. There's a time where you want to be a buyer of options. There's also a time where you want to be a seller of options. Remember, I told you there's always 2 people on each side of the transaction. You'll also get my call options cheat sheets and checklists, right? So these are the cheat sheets that I put together so that when I was trying to decide what's the best option to buy at what price and when and why, I had a quick reference guide that I could just put some numbers down, some prices in, and figure out exactly which was the best option to buy. I'm also going to walk you through understanding the 3 types of put options. We're going to show you some examples of put options as stock protection. So how do you use put options to protect your portfolio, to protect a trade that you're in, especially when you go into earnings season? Have you ever been in earnings season and like a company miss earnings and like next thing you know, a stock that you're in is down 10, 15, 20 bucks? We're going to show you our put options as a protection strategy as well. And then we're going to also give you my put option cheat sheets and rules. So you'll get the cheat sheets for the call options, the cheat sheets for the put options. I'm also going to share with you my control versus ownership strategy. You saw a little bit of it here, right? Do we want to own Google or do we want to control Google? What we didn't get into in this session is my rental income strategy. I love this one. I was always one of those people that were excited about real estate, but I'm like, man, I got to deal with like tenants and people breaking in the house if it's vacant and all this stuff and hope they don't tear up the house. I found a way to there's a strategy that I teach where you can actually do the same strategy of a rental property in the stock market using stock. So you can rent it out every month and get rental income every month, which is really cool. And then I also have what I call a paid for waiting strategy. This is a strategy where you can actually get paid for selling time, for waiting for your stock to move. Really cool stuff. We got many advanced put option strategies. So my downside dollar strategy. So how do we find broken stocks and then apply the put option strategy so we can make money on the downside? How to protect your portfolio. Again, especially if you have a portfolio over 100,000, you don't want to be left out in the dark on how to protect that type of money. And even if you have more than that, but about 100,000 is about the point where you can really appreciate some of the protection strategies. And then the rules for buying and selling puts. There's some rules that you want to make sure that you know so that you don't buy the wrong put option and you don't sell the wrong option. And then what are the rules for buying options that you can get in and out of? So I'll walk you through all of that in the course. 31 options explained video modules total, right? This is literally the blueprint to learning how to strategize with options. Now, what we don't cover is like iron condors and some stuff, wingless butterflies, all that stuff. But if you're looking for 12 solid option strategies that we outline, this is literally the blueprint to how to strategize with options. Now, there's 2 ways to get started. Let me walk you through both of those ways, all right? The first way on the left side, which is the single course purchase. I'm going to walk you through that. And then I'm also going to share with you about membership. So you may be wondering, what is membership and what that entails? So I'm going to walk you through that and how that whole process works as well. So let's dive into it. The 30 module options course that breaks down the options, definitions, terminology, how to buy calls and puts, the entire training, the complete options formula guide, the option market strategies, the 12 different strategies that I talked about. That is just $297 right now. At least we call that a limited time offer because every year we look at the course. Do we need to update it? Do we add stuff? And then we need to reevaluate if the price warrants being increased or not. But at this moment, at this time, the price is $297 to get all of the things we talked about, all of the strategies, know how to grow a small trading account, know how to have 12 different option strategies, know how to have a strategy in both up and down markets, learn how to control the stock versus owning the stock. That's all baked into that $297 price, which is an awesome deal. Plus, here's what we're going to do. We're also going to throw in these additional bonuses. That's right. We're going to sweeten the pot. All right. So I'm also going to share with you my advanced put option strategy, which is literally the secret to buying stocks at a discount. Listen to me, every time, or get paid for trying. I bet no one has ever taught you this. So if you buy stocks I'm going to show you exactly how you can get it at a discount every single time. And if you don't get it at a discount, you will get paid for trying. I know it sounds too good to be true, but that is why, most people don't share these wealth principles because they like to keep them to themselves. So I'm going to share with you exactly how it works. And trust me, this module alone will blow your mind about how that works. I'm also going to share with you my options trading cheat sheet. Okay, you're going to get my personal options trading cheat sheet to quickly reference and determine which strategies to apply. So this is the one that I use before I make a decision. I quickly look at it and say, okay, which strategy am I applying? I know exactly which options I'm buying and what strategy I'm doing just by looking at this option cheat sheet, and it's going to be yours so that you can have the same amount of confidence and quick reference when you're trading. Because here's the thing, when you got a lot of money on the table, you don't want to be like, what module was that? Let me go back and watch that. You want to be able to quickly reference what the strategy is and what you need to apply. And you're going to have that at your fingertips with my options trading cheat sheet. I am also throwing in, now this course right here, we could sell this for $297 by itself, okay? By itself. This is my Greeks mini course. That's right. So if you ever heard about delta, theta, gamma, beta, rho, any of those crazy terms as it relates to options, I'm breaking it all down and how they relate to options and what are the most important ones that you need to know and how it affects your options and how to calculate your potential profit using the Greeks. All right. So you don't have to buy an option and wonder if you're going to make money. You can look at the Greeks and tell how much you're going to make and also how much you're going to lose if an option doesn't, or if a stock doesn't move in a certain amount of time. And I'm giving you that as a bonus inside this course. And so listen, I'm so confident. I am so super confident that you'll love the course. Most people won't do this, but I'm offering a 14-day money back guarantee. That's right. I'm taking the risk. I'm removing all the risk from you and I'm taking on the risk. I'm saying I know what we're teaching inside the course is gold. I know what we're teaching inside the course will help you become a better trader, will help you grow your small trading account, will help you exponentially increase your gains if you have a bigger trading account, something over $5,000, or if you're trading a multiple six-figure account like myself. The strategies in here, I am confident that they're going to help you get to the next level. And so I'm offering a 14-day money back guarantee. That's how confident I am that you'll love it. But here's the thing. Don't take my word for it. I had my assistant go and pull up some of our testimonials from inside the Facebook group when we had a Facebook group. And I'll share with you in a moment when we talk about membership, why we don't have a Facebook group anymore because we moved everything over to our custom membership site. But here was one of the ones she pulled up. So this person, I blocked their name out for privacy. Listen to this. The big picture off to the right, it says, knowing how to trade options make you capable in any condition. But you can see here, he said sold 2 TGT contracts, which is Target, if you don't know that ticker symbol, this week for a small profit. Also picked up 15 CIM contracts, December 16, $15 call options for pretty cheap. Boring stock, but slow and steady in the uptrend. Really happy how far I've come as a trader thanks to Jason Brown and others who have helped me in the group, basically, who help teach. This market is wild. Knowing how to trade options makes you capable in any condition. All right. So that's the key here. Knowing how to trade options. We don't have to worry about if the market's up, down, sideways. We're giving you the ingredients to be confident to have a game plan no matter what the market is doing. Here's another one. I never really had the confidence until now. Jason has given me the confidence. And he goes on to say, hello, option traders. This is Fred. Fred, I didn't block your name out, but I blocked out his last name. I would first like to thank Jason for sharing his knowledge and wisdom, the whole options buying process. I have actually had an Options Express account for some time now, but never really had the confidence, right, to do everything with it until now. Again, Jason has given me the confidence and motivation to at least start to virtual trade and then move on to real trading. So we preach, practice the strategies first before you ever place a real trade. And then here's one more. I love this. She says, your teaching and coaching are very effective. And I want to breeze through this one real quick, but I think it's important, to get some testimonies from real people because you're going to say, of course, he's going to say the course is great. He wrote it. Thanks, Jason Brown, for the live video. I wasn't able to be on it live, but viewed it later. I've taken both of your courses, and yes, I've gone through them. I virtually traded for a couple of months and made several trades that I've profited from. So awesome. Now, I can't guarantee that anyone will profit, but it's just nice to have testimonials when people do. I'm still learning things that come up with my live trading that can throw me off. Just when I think I'm understanding, I do get a little panicky and a little frustrated with my brokerage trading platform. It's low fees, but I'm finding now their platform doesn't let me access detailed information like Options Express. So I'll walk you through the best platform, how to use it, where to get the best information and stuff. So she says, I get what you're saying about using options to control. Let me highlight this. Let me turn on my drawing to him. She says, I get what you're saying about using options to control bigger stocks rather than small penny stocks. So some people think the way is penny stocks, but I already talked about that. You're buying the worst of the worst stocks. We're talking about controlling the Amazons, the Googles, the stuff like that. So let me just skip through this. She says, I have an IRA account that's larger to work with, and then I open up a $300 cash account to start trading some lower priced options to slowly build up. So this is for all the people who saying, how much do I need to get started with an account? Do I need a multiple six-figure account like you? Do I need thousands of dollars? Here we have a team member saying, I opened an account with $300 cash to start trading some lower price options to slowly build it up. So it's removing all the excuses, right? You don't have to already be rich, but you do have to have some money, and you have to be willing to get off the sidelines and get into the game. All right. So she just said, I wanted you to know your teachers and coaches are very effective, and I've understood things much better having gone through your course. Thank you very much. So, things like that make me feel good, because that's why I do this. I could trade and keep all the information to myself, which it would be totally fine. You've seen some of my trades. I make money just fine without teaching it. But it's also powerful to be able to share this information and bring other people along with us for the ride. And then here's just a little sneak peek of the back end of the community. So this is where your modules will be. You can see all the modules right there. That's where you'll have access to the Greeks mini course and then some of those other bonuses that I talked about. And then you have access to be able to leave comments underneath the video. So you can leave comments underneath the videos if you have questions, different things like that. Now, here's the thing. The knowledge is priceless. The knowledge is priceless, okay? Even though we put a $297 price tag on it, the reality is the knowledge is priceless. The $297 covers the software. It covers the recording equipment. It covers website hosting and paying for a customer service person to help people reset passwords and stuff like that. But don't mistake the fact that the course is $297 for that the information is $297. The information is actually priceless, okay? And those with it know that it's priceless. Those without it, well, you've seen from the examples that we did the difference between having this knowledge and not having this knowledge. Now, let me share with you the second way to get involved. And also you're going to see a button up to the right. You're gonna be able to click, and if you want to go pick up the course only, or if you want to join membership, just pick or click the corresponding offer here. So let's talk about the second way to get involved, which is membership. All right. So at Power Trades University, our saying is courses, coaching, and community. We brought everything under one roof. So I told you I built a custom platform. My team, my customer service reps, my tech support team, my engineers, we built out a custom platform. So let me walk you through what that means and what that looks like. So inside of Power Trades University, you get access to my foundations course, which is the stock trading course, which teaches you how to read stock charts, when to buy, when to sell. I'm assuming you already know that, but even if you don't, okay, if you're saying I love options, but I don't even understand the basics, that's going to be included. Options Explained, our $297 course. Again, these are just the current prices at the time of this webinar, right? So the advanced options course. So I told you in Options Explained, we don't teach iron condors and butterflies and different things like that. We do teach that in our advanced options course, which is $997, and then group coaching. Okay, so in that last testimony where she said I wasn't able to make the live webinar, but I missed it. Well, what she's talking about is every week on Monday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I go live in the group because I'm a real trader with my real money in the real market. I go live inside our community, inside our group, and I actually look for real trades to trade. And I let the members watch. They get to ask questions. We bring them on to ask questions. They can also ask about stocks that they're looking at, and I'll pull it up and I'll analyze it right there real time during that 2 hours. Okay, that alone is $1,500 a year. Okay, and that renews annually. You can't just buy that and keep it. It's an annual renewal. So if you add everything up, it's $2,991 total, plus the $1,500 renews every year. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to ask you to pay that. I want to share with you something new that we're doing because people wanted, we're asking Jason Brown, well, how can I get in? How can the little guy get involved? And so here's what we put together and came up with, right? Right now, and again, I say right now because the prices can change. It's $4.99 to get involved and $99 a month. So there's a $4.99 membership join fee, and then it's $99 a month. And what that gets you is access to everything. That's right, everything, all the courses. So let me break down what some of the members have been saying about this. Now, keep in mind, we don't always, we only open membership usually 2, maybe 3 times a year. We typically don't keep it open, as well as we used to do an application process only. We needed to know that you were serious about trading. We wanted to know that you've been through either my foundations or you got your foundations from somewhere else. And so you can see, he said, we have some anxious members waiting to get in. It says, Jason Brown better open up his membership group soon before we revolt. We have some anxious members that are ready to join the big boys. We're hungry, Jason. We want in. I want in. So here's the thing. I was like, well, I'll share my trades with a small group of people who are serious, who want to know how I'm doing it, which trades I'm picking. I would get that all the time. What trades are you in? What are you buying? What are you selling? And although I don't give recommendations, because I'm not a licensed broker and I don't ever want to be, but I don't want to manage people's money, but I do want to teach people. I want to give them the ability to fish and feed themselves. So I do allow people to watch me go through the process, watch me trade, watch me buy, sell, and learn the thought process that goes into it. And so we took a couple people and then we closed it. And then we said, maybe we'll open it twice a year. We used to do it every 6 months. So that's what that is about. But I'm just saying, you're in a prize position or place to be able to join the membership should you choose that option. Here's another testimonial where Philip said, Jason Brown is the man. Monday's night coaching has paid for itself 30x over with Netflix. So we did a trade on Netflix that paid out pretty well, actually. And then you can see Bob said it was 125% gain for me in just shy of a month. What's next? Bring it on. Now, we don't like to do, this is not an income claim, and this is no guarantee that, as soon as you get in, the next stock we pick or option we pick might be a loser just the first day that you join. But we're right more times than we're not. If you join, and you'll see, or if you've seen one of my webinars where I showed the back end of our trade tracker, we're right more times than we're wrong. But the point is, where else are you able to get, 125% gain? No matter what that is. I don't care if he came with $1,000. Okay, that means he left with $2,250. The point is, where else are you getting that type of return in a month? And options are the key to doing it, and being able to see me place the trades has been a great help. Here's the back end of Power Trades University. I want to share this with you, and then we'll move on here and wrap up this webinar. So in the back end, you'll get access to foundations, assuming you take membership. If you don't take membership, no worries. If you just want options explained, you'll just have access to options explained. So you'll see the other courses, but if you go to click on them, you won't have access to them. And then you'll also have access to our advanced options course, which is $997. Then I'm also bringing out a new course called Power Candle Patterns. So that'll be another $1,000 course when we bring that out. So I just want to show you what it looks like. So we moved away from the whole Facebook thing. Some people didn't have Facebook. Some people were worried about they don't want their family members finding them on Facebook and friends and all that stuff. So we actually built out, again, our own custom platform. So this is Power Trades University. So we also have our own forum. So we got the Power Trades discussion forum, the bullish forum, the bearish forum, and then we just released the new advanced options forum. And then we also have the replay. So for some reason, if you can't make it live to the Monday night webinars, I record all the trainings. And so you can actually go in here and watch these. There's almost 3 years worth of trainings in here alone. You can't see the other ones down here, but this goes back to like 2016. So there's years worth of trainings in here alone. Just the replay vault, we could charge a couple $1,000s to see how we analyze the market day in and day out, or should I say week in and week out. And then you also get access to the forums where you can chat with other traders. You can see we got some rocking discussions going on in there. And now the market hasn't been very bearish, so there's not many discussions going on in the bearish form. And then we just open up. Well, we haven't even. We're just now releasing this forum here, so some of the people who've taken the advanced options course will be able to contribute in there. But the point is, you got a community of where you can bounce ideas off other people, get feedback, and also you can see the coach, a real trader, trading and ask questions and follow on my coattail. So I know that was a lot of information. So let's just recap real quick. Let's just recap. On the left side, you got 2 ways to get involved. On the left side, you can get the single course, which is still a great option. I just want to let you know all your options, because we've had people purchase the course, then get in the back end and say, wait, how do I get all this other stuff? And so we rather just give you 2 options up front and then allow you to join the membership, even though it may or may not be open as you're going through this webinar. So the 30 module options explained course, the bonus Greeks training, the complete options formula guide. Those are the 3 that's included by purchasing the course one off. Membership, again, you save over $1,500 in year 1 by becoming a member. It's $499. And then it's $99 a month to renew your access. So you get the options explained course, the bonus Greeks training, you get the complete options formula guide. You also get foundations, our 16 module stock trading course, the advanced options course, which is a $997 by itself. You get access to that. You also get access to the live weekly webinars, which again, that's $1,500 a year. But again, it's $499 join fee, $99 a month. And then you also get access to the replay vault, which we could charge separately for, but we don't. And then you also get access to the traders forum, where you can network with other traders. So listen, it's all here inside of Power Trades University. Everything you need. You can either go the single course route or the member route, but the key here is taking action, because after this webinar, you can never say, I didn't know how it worked. I wish I had a way to earn money or take control of the growth of my investment account. So at this point, there's really only 3 types of people, and everyone that can hear the sound of my voice, you're going to fall in 1 of 3 categories. So let's go through the 3 types of people. We'll take Q&A and then we'll wrap this up. Number 1 person says, I'm in. Where do I get started? Like, you could have shut up 30 minutes ago. I'm ready to go. Just click one of the options to get started in the top right-hand corner, whether that's options explained, the one-time purchase, or if you're ready to become a member. Welcome to the family, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Second type of person says, I'm in, but I have questions. So here's the thing. We did a couple other webinars. I actually wrote down some of the main questions that came in. I want to make sure that I tackle them in this webinar, and some other new questions that have come in as well. And if for some reason we didn't answer your question, be sure to type it in the box on the side. Only we can see your questions. And if for some reason we didn't answer it, or maybe it's a very unique question to only you, then we'll send you a personalized response. Like someone asked, well here, we'll get to that in a second. The third type of person says, having a strategy in any kind of market is not for me. I will just keep doing what I'm doing. And hey, if that's you, listen, you're not hurting our feelings. Here's what I just want to say. Hey, number one, thank you for taking some time to spend with me on this webinar. But I will say this. If it's not for you, you do know somebody who is looking to get into the stock market, or they're already in the stock market, I should say, but they're looking to get exponential gains, exponential returns. They're looking to be a better trader. I say to you, share this information with that person, share this webinar with them, and let them know that Power Trades University and Jason Brown exists. That's what I'll say to you. So for those who have some questions that have come in, so let me answer some of those, and let me answer some of the questions we wrote down from our previous webinar, because we run this webinar a couple times a day. So one of the questions that came in is, can I trade options in my 401k account? The answer is no. Okay, so when you have a 401k account, that's designated by your employer. And so you can only trade or pick from the investments that they say you can pick from, whatever the investments are. Usually it's like with Fidelity or something like that. They have these prepackaged investment plans. But here's what you can do. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can only share with you what I did when I was working. I never contributed more than the max that you can contribute that they would match. And then what I did was I took the rest of my money and I opened an individual IRA account. Okay, so if you open an IRA, it's hard to say, individual retirement account, you can actually make your own decisions in an individual retirement account, but it works similar to a 401k in the sense that you can't pull it out before retirement age or you'll get penalized and some different things like that. But you do have the freedom to trade options in an account like that. So that's one thing that you can do. What time are the live webinars? Okay, so the live webinars again are from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? So every Monday, unless it's a holiday, unless I'm traveling, which we have a calendar in the back end, so I'll let you know well in advance if I'm traveling or something like that. I typically get 4 vacation weeks a year. I bake that into my contract when you become a member, just because I'm a human being as well. I need time off to enjoy with my family and to recharge my batteries. But typically, instead of canceling for those weeks, we usually shift it to a Wednesday. But outside of that, they're every Monday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you can't make it for whatever reason, it is recorded. So the sessions are recorded. Do we get to see what you are trading? Absolutely. What I'm trading, I show you exactly the stocks I'm looking at, the trends, and then I go and look at the option strategy that I'm looking to apply to the stocks that we find on the live webinar. So absolutely, you get to see exactly what I'm trading. In fact, we have what's called a trade tracker. So you can look at my track record. So sometimes people say, well, what's your track record over the last year or two? Which is a fair question. But we have all the trades that we tracked in the back end, when we looked at them, when we got in, when we got out, how much we paid for it, as long as we didn't forget to record it. We have the strategy associated with it, everything. That's all part of membership. That's not part of the one-time purchase. That's part of the membership, right? So if I purchase one of the questions we got as well, if I purchase the Options Explained course, can I upgrade later? So the answer is yes, but within 14 days. Okay. So within 14 days, if say for some reason you say, you know what, I'm just going to upgrade and pay the $499. Basically, we would take the $297 and we would subtract it from the $499 and you would pay the difference. Or typically we'd have to have you purchase the membership and then we would refund your Options Explained within the first 14 days. But here's the thing. If you already know that you're going to be in this for the long run, then, go ahead and go with membership. But the answer is yes, you can upgrade at least within 14 days. In your opinion, here's another question. In your opinion, which one is best if you just getting into the stock market, you just kind of mastered stocks, which option is best? So here's the thing. Again, I don't think it's about if you're a beginner or if you just master stocks or not, the question is, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself being part of the community? Do you think you can get your results faster if you were seeing a real options trader, a profitable options trader, picking his trades, picking his strategy, showing you my entries, my exits? Do you think you could get to your goal faster if you had a community to bounce ideas off of and to share ideas with? That's the question you got to ask yourself. So if the answer is yes, I think I can get to my goals faster if I had a community, if I had access to all the courses, if I had access to you and what you're trading every week and to see the decisions that you make before you make them or while you're making them, then I would say go with the membership. If you just feel like you're good by yourself and you just want to know how to trade options, that's it. You're like, no thanks on the rest of that, Jason Brown. Hey, no problem. Then go with the options explain single course purchase. The idea here is I just wanted to share with you guys all the other stuff that we have, because we have had people buying and they say, oh, can I refund and get the membership option and get access to everything? So I said, let me just start sharing that with you up front. All right. So I think that's about the most of the questions without it being unique and specific to certain people. Do you have to use the same trading account that I use? No, you don't. But I do walk you through the trading account I use. We have some people in our group from Canada, from Mexico, from Australia. So some of the U.S. brokerages are not even available in their country. So depending on your broker, you're going to have to take what I teach, and then you're going to have to, when it comes time to actually place in the trade, all right, you're going to have to see where that's at in your broker. It's kind of like a car. Maybe the way you pop the hood latch or the gas tank latch. Some have it in the glove compartment, some have it under the seat, some have it under the dash, but it all functions the same. You need to pop that to put gas in it. It's the same thing with a brokerage account. They all, for the most part, function the same. It's just aesthetically, it may be in a different place. So you're going to have to find out, where's the buy button with your broker, or where's the option chain with the broker that you're using. But you don't have to use the same broker that I use. All right. So let's go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. And let me just wrap up by saying this. Listen, there's a consequence for not taking action. So you may be thinking, well, yes, you can make some money, you can exponentially grow your account, but what happens if you don't take action? I always like to break that down, because my mentor once said to me, like, don't if you keep doing the same thing you've been doing, that's what he said to me. He said, basically, if you keep doing the same thing you've been doing, you're going to get the same thing. And he said, are you happy with the results you've been getting? And I could have lied and said, yes, I'm very happy. Life is good. And the reality was, I was like, no, I'm not happy. I'm not driving the car I want to drive. I'm not living in the house I want to live in. I can't provide, at least at that time, for a girlfriend like I wanted to. Now I'm married. And so, I like having the ability to provide for my wife. And so when you look at the left side and you say, what's the consequence of not taking action? Because I don't think a lot of people think about this. And there is a consequence for not doing anything. And that is lack of confidence in your trading. You're going to have no game plan if stocks are going up. The only time you can make money is if stocks are going up. You don't have a game plan if stocks are going down. You don't have a game plan if stocks are going sideways. All right. And then most people, you might make money and then you lose it all back. And that's no way to trade. I know so many doctors, lawyers, smart people. When you ask them about the stock market, you're like, how's it going? Oh, I'm a little bit up. Oh, I'm a little bit down. I'm about even. Like, that's not exciting. So all this money you're making, you're investing in, you're a little bit up, a little bit down, or a little bit broken even. And that's because most people make the money when the market's good because they know how to buy, but they have no game plan when the market's down. They have no game plan when the market's sideways. The other thing is, you're going to have slow account growth. You're going to be left with taking your money to the bank and putting it in there, getting a CD, making 2%, which is no real money, right? You're not even surpassing inflation. And then you're going to live in fear of always losing your money because you have no protection strategies. The protection strategies alone will give you peace of mind, knowing that you have some safeguards or some insurance against your money. At least you can use some of the strategies as insurance, okay? And then on the right side, the people who take action, it's like everything opens up for you. You're going to be confident in your trading strategies. You're going to have a game plan for any market condition. You're going to be able to have protection strategies to not just make the money, but keep the money. And then you're going to also be able to exponentially grow your account no matter where your account is at. If it's a multiple six-figure account, you're going to have the strategies for that. If it's a $500 account, you're going to have the strategies and ability to exponentially increase your returns. All right. And so that's the key here of what we're talking about. So as we wrap up, all I'm going to leave you with is make a decision to move forward with your education, no matter if you pick the one-time option, which again, you can click up in the right-hand corner, you can click the offers there, you can pick the one-time purchase, or if you're ready to go gun-ho and become a member with us, it'll probably be some of the best money that you ever spent, because we're going to help you fast track your progress, because you're going to be able to see us picking the trades. You're going to see what I'm trading, how we're applying the strategy, and you're going to have a whole network of other traders behind you. So thanks for spending some time with me. And for those of you who purchase, I'll see you on the other side, and you'll be getting a welcome email from me shortly. All right. All right, so that's it. I will see you guys later.